Welcome aboard, everybody, to the debut edition of the Phillies FASTBALL podcast. We are on multiple streaming platforms. We'll be here every day at noon. And look at the guys I got with me here, Jeff Kerr and, of course, Oscar Budejen. You guys know them from the Phillies Weekly Show, which will now turn into a Phillies FASTBALL Daily Show. And it starts today, boys. Jeff, you were at Citizens Bank Park all weekend long. Oscar, you've been around this team for years. I can't wait to talk every day about the Phillies team, which comes in 1-2. And they look eerily similar to the team that had a lot of issues at the plate last year, but we'll get into all that. What's up, fellas?
I'm doing good, Mike. Just crazy weekend at the ballpark, crazy weekend in Lehigh. Zach Wheeler pitched. Looked really good. Ryan Kerr pitched. Looked really good. But overall, just a little disappointed in the hitting, but that's okay. We're only 3 games.
Are you saying that the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs are more exciting right now than the big club? Is that what you're indicating?
Well, at least Saturday they were, but they only won 1-0. Yes, I know they're 3-0. I'm happy my boy Cade Fergus got a walk-off hit yesterday. But look, if we're going to be honest here, if you're talking prospects, Reading's going to be the place to be this summer.
All right. Reading's going to be the place to be. What about Citizens Bank Park, Oscar? It was cold. The bats did not heat up all weekend long. I know you have a lot of stats and statistics and slides that we'll be showing about. Man, this run-it-back theme, it looks like the same offense, same problems.
Well, you know what? I'm going to just say exactly the same thing that Jesus Luzardo said yesterday. There's still 159 games left. So, look, the reality is this team has consistently improved on their winning record. Do I see this team being very similar to last year? Absolutely. With its issues around chase rate, when you look at kind of the additions, particularly Adolis Garcia in right field, his profile of hitting is very, very similar to Castellanos. Now, the difference between both of them is that he has performed at the big stage in the big games at the right time. And that's what we're hoping, that in the postseason, when Adolis Garcia is up, that he can get the big base hit. He got a huge base hit on Saturday. I mean, that got us back kind of in the game. And look, or a double. The reality is, I mean, we're going to go through this ups and downs because this team is very streaky, and this team depends too much on the home run ball. I mean, if we hit home runs, we win games. If we don't hit home runs, we're not going to hit. So we need to slug, as our dear Tupper manager says. So,
well, and when they went to this offseason, many people thought that there was going to be a lot of changes. Well, not a lot of changes. You brought in Garcia and Crawford. Now, Crawford kind of added what he's here to do. He got a little infield single, got his first major league hit. And we'll see how that plays throughout the season. But really, the big guys, they go through ups and downs, and they're hot and they're cold. Garcia, though, I thought you're right, Oscar. Yesterday, even in that game, he had the sac fly, but it was a line shot. And if he hits that into the corner, who knows what happens. But I thought he had a good at-bat. He held off a couple pitches. But Garcia, I think most people feel like it's him and Castellanos, very similar type of players. But my thought on Garcia was that he had a higher ceiling of power than what Castellanos brought, and maybe that's something we'll see. But we didn't see it the first weekend from anybody other than the Schwarber home run and the Bohm home run on opening day.
Yeah, I
think
agree,
one
Mike.
thing, Jeff. Just I'll let you back up on this. I am encouraged what I've seen from a spring training to start now. I think he's going to have a big season. He has 2 more, or this year and next year, of eligibility. I mean, before being a free agent, I think he's going to have a huge year. Go ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
Oh, no. I was just reiterating what Mike was saying with the at-bat yesterday. Look, that was a nice long at-bat. Garcia had a couple foul balls, and I'm like, man, bases loaded. If he gets a hold of one, and he did get a hold of one, it was just a sac fly. But if that would have, like Mike said, that was
a line fly, right? I mean, it was a sac line. He hit that thing on the nose, and it was a good at-bat of him on a 3-2 or a 2-2 holding off to draw the count to 3-2. So if he can, because I know, Oscar, the chase rate last year seems eerily similar to the chase rate we saw in these first 3 games, and that's something that Garcia is really known for. but that one, at least one at bat. There you go, up on the screen. Chase percentage right now, 31%. And, I'm sure that's about similar to where it was a year ago. They have not improved through 3 games.
26 Major League Baseball.
Yeah, that 189 batting average to me is probably the biggest indicator right now. And you're looking at a low OPS as a result of that. Look, it's the bottom line the last 2 days. It just took them too long to get a hit, and they were trailing both times. And Trey Turner said it best yesterday. Look, when we get behind, that's when I feel like they're starting to press. And they need to get an early lead. They need to help out their starting pitchers. And I know we could talk about Aaron Nola and Jesus Luzardo and their performances over the weekend, fine, and the home runs they've given up, but I think they need to do a better job at helping their starting pitchers out early in the game. They're hitting bullpens. They're just not hitting starting pitching right now.
Look at the green. Look at the green there on the OPS against Valdi. I mean, we got 10 hits on Thursday. Our OPS against right-handed pitching, 849. Against left-handed pitching in the last 2 days, 318. Something, I mean, again, it's 3 games, guys. It's 159 games to go. I mean, it's going to go a long, long way. We still have a long way to go. But look, last year we were not as good against left-handed pitching than we were against right-handed pitching.
Say, Oscar, how does that compare to last year? How do those numbers compare to what we saw last year? You're right. It's only a 3-game sample size. It's only a 3-game sample size, but those numbers play, I would imagine. You have the graphic that you're going to show here in a second, but I would imagine those, even though it's 3 games, those numbers play similar to what we saw a year ago.
Yeah, last year we went 23-25 against left-handed pitching, and that's why you have a left-handed pitcher pitching today for the Nationals. I mean, we're going to get a lot of lefties here. That's kind of the reality. We were 73-41 last year against right-handed pitching. 23-25 against left-handed pitching. So the numbers speak by themselves, and I think we're going to get a big diet of lefties across the entire year.
Well, I guess the one question was when DeGrom pulled out of the start on Saturday, they went with a lefty. Should the Phillies have countered with their lineup for a lefty? They decided to keep Stott and Marsh in the lineup, and obviously – 2 days in a row, they did not get a hit until at least the 5th inning. So you could maybe ask on Saturday's game, should they have adjusted their lineup when Texas had to use a new starter who was left-handed?
Yeah, I thought they should have, Mike, and I'm kind of surprised that they didn't. But I thought Rob did a really good job yesterday of being aggressive. And we talked to him pregame in the clubhouse, and it was brought up, hey, if they go to a right-handed pitcher, does that mean Brandon Marsh and Bryson Stott get opportunities? He said, yeah, there's a really good chance that's going to happen. And he did that yesterday, and you saw the results, like Bryson Stott, RBI, Brandon Marsh, he had some good at-bats there. I know it's early. I'm trying not to panic, obviously. I never panic. It's just by nature. But right now, I just feel like this team needs to get 4 or 5 at-bats a game consistently. And tonight, you are not going to see Justin Crawford in the lineup. You're going to see Brandon Marsh starting in center field tonight. So, and JT Realmuto is going to get the day off. I'm just curious to see, like, him try to get.
Is he just saying, hey, I want to get – I mean, this is a young kid, 22 years old. You would think that they had a day off already. They have another one coming up here on, Thursday. Is it really necessary? That's a kid. JT, I have no problem with. I thought they've played him too much the last 3-4 years. They need to pull him back. But Justin Crawford should be playing as much as you could possibly get him out there, I would think.
Yeah, Realmuto will not be in the lineup today.
Yeah. Right. I would agree, Mike. So – with Crawford, from my explanation is, it's just they want to see. I guess Marsh against a lefty again. I don't know. I feel like this is a way to kind of keep the platoon balance, keep Otto Kemp in left field, just give Crawford a day. Just not to overwhelm him so fast, and then Crawford comes in tomorrow. Because like Forrest Griffin's pitching tonight, right? I don't think anybody on this team has ever seen Forrest Griffin.
No. No, our friends over at Phillies Tailgate, they actually posted that this morning, that no Philly has faced Griffin tonight. So this will be one of these guys, and he's left-handed. So you're seeing a lefty that you've never faced before. You're struggling along, and we know how left-handed this Phillies lineup is. I mean, Crawford's a nice addition, but he's also left-handed. Schwarber lefty, Harper lefty, Stott lefty, Marsh lefty, Realmuto. Some days you have 5 left-handers that you're counting on in the lineup, and of course we know when the other team throws a lefty, you're going to flip out Stott and Marsh most of the time.
Yeah, we're gonna see how much this platoon, how committed they are to it, right? You know, where Alcantara plays tonight, where Edmundo Sosa plays tonight. Like, I'd be surprised if Bryson Stott plays tonight, but would you be surprised if he didn't? I'm trying to figure out how to word it. Would you be surprised at all if Bryson Stott doesn't play?
This is the thing, and Oscar, I'm interested on your thought on this too, because they had a chance, and the thing that Rob said was, we have 3 straight lefties we're facing, so our right-handed batters are going to get plenty of opportunities. But when they went to the lefty on Saturday, you could have had an opportunity to switch everybody and get the righties in the lineup, but he chose not to. So is he going to pick and choose when Stott and Marsh face lefties, or are they just going with strict platoons?
I mean, the reality is both Saturday and Sunday, we didn't get a hit, until the 6th inning? I mean, it was –
Saturday was in the 5th. It was Realmuto had that little infield single on Saturday. And yesterday, Sunday, I think, was in the 6th inning.
Crawford was an infield single too.
Yeah,
it was ugly. It was ugly. I mean, I saw a number of fastballs that Alec Bohm should have probably, gotten a hole off. And he didn't go after them. Again, it's the beginning of the season. The guys are not ready yet. A lot of guys, went to the World Baseball Classic. With Harper and Schwarber. Something that I'm surprised is that and I'll ask you this question: why did they decide? Initially, there was some discussion about putting Harper ahead of Schwarber. I get the on base percentage of Schwarber is huge. The same with Harper, but to protect Harper a little bit, could you and get him going? Should you have Harper ahead of Schwarber? That is one question that I had on the lineup that still puzzling to me. I like the concept of Harper maybe hitting and see if it clicks, and if it clicks, let's move forward. But look, those numbers 140, 154, 154, and 091 is scary.
Yeah, I see what you guys think about this. I actually would like to see them have Schwarber, Bohm, or Harper, Bohm, Schwarber. Let Bohm get protected by Schwarber and see if that makes Bohm even a better hitter. Bohm's a guy who his big fault is what? He doesn't hit for enough power. But if he has Schwarber hitting behind him, how many more fastballs is he going to see? You already know Schwarber is a good hitter. But if you put Bohm in the 3-hole and get Schwarber protecting him, maybe that makes Bohm a better version of himself, and maybe that's something this team needs. One of these guys to be a better version of who they are, and maybe Bohm getting protected by Schwarber can make him a guy that goes from, 287 with 12 homers. This guy's had 100 RBIs almost 2 times in a row. He can drive guys in. You put him in the 3-hole, maybe he does hit 18 to 20 home runs because he has Schwarber hitting behind him.
And Bohm
I was encouraged by the home runs to right field, by the way. I was encouraged going the other way and hitting the home run. That was a big shot by him.
Yeah, Bohm is a really good 3-hitter, Mike. To add to your point, he hit over 300 batting third last year. So why not at least try it?
Well, if you remember too, Jeff, the year that Harper was hurt, he hit in the 3-hole much of that season, and that's where he had his best year when he was hitting in that number 3 spot. I actually like Bohm in the 2 spot, too. I'd be intrigued with Bohm hitting 2, Harper hitting 3, and Schwarber hitting 4, because Bohm's a guy, he doesn't strike out a lot. He goes gap to gap. He's got a high batting average, so he puts the ball in play, and you have Crawford and Turner in front of him. He's a proven, run producer. I wouldn't mind seeing Bohm in the 2-hole on this team.
You know what, Mike? One thing that did work this week with this lineup, their decision to bat Bryson Stott fifth, which I was lukewarm on, I guess. Like I said, okay, he's had a hot spring. Why not try him there? It's early in the season. But look at the numbers, 375. Brandon Marsh hitting 7th. I thought maybe you should have flipped those two, but they both hit and they both were productive. Brandon Marsh had 2 doubles on opening day. So that's working for them. And look what Justin Crawford's doing out of the 9-hole. It's right now, the big issue is the top of the order. 5 for 37 just isn't going to cut it.
Well, and Oscar,
the Crawford thing is 333, no 0 and 091. So that's a mistake on my part.
Right, and Oscar, we as Jeff just said, you've got all the numbers. Stott went from the 9-hole last year to the 5-hole all of a sudden. Marsh hit 5th most of last year. He goes to the 7th spot. Now, as your graphic shows, those two guys have been producing. But in reality, where is your team ceiling if Stott and or Marsh are your 5-hitter?
Look, Stott is not a profile 5th hitter. I mean, he would hit better down in the lineup. I mean, based on history, he had as we spoke before, he had a great spring, and this is kind of a continuation of it. But I do, against a right-handed pitching, I want March probably being the 5th hitter or Garcia, whomever is hot. One thing that I think is important, the 5th hitter, the 4th and 5th hitter on this team, it's going to depend a lot on 2 components. Number 1, who is hot, and number 2, kind of the matchups. So if Garcia might have a great matchup against one of the pitchers, you probably, a lefty, for example, you potentially see Garcia as the 4th hitter and then moving some of the guys around. And look, Baum is a guy that is a contact guy. You saw him how we ended up the game with a little fly ball to shortstop. I mean, he doesn't strike out. I mean, he doesn't strike out. Last year, he struck out 16% of the time. He's one of the best in our entire lineup. I mean, Crawford, I'm hoping, it's going to take some time to adjust to Major League hitting. He might also profile as a guy that makes contact. I mean, a lot of ground balls, which is a little worrisome if you have runners on base, because some of them could turn into double plays. I mean, he's really fast. So, but his game speed is going to change things. I mean, I like what we spoke this weekend about Turner and Crawford. I think Kevin Long mentioned it. I mean, having those 2 guys on base or with their speed, I mean, it's game changing. I mean, it's game changing to what we had before. So hopefully things will turn around and we can. The bottom line, guys. I mean, look at the last 3 years. If Turner, Schwarber, and Harper do not hit, this team is not going to win games. I mean, that's kind of the reality. Putting everything on the shoulders of Alec Baum, Stott, March. I mean, it's just or Realmuto. I mean, and let's be clear. I was listening this morning to one of the radio shows. I mean, talking about Realmuto, and look, Realmuto is who he is. He's a great leader. He's a great catcher. He look at when you think of Realmuto, look at the ERA of this team. I mean, you look at the numbers of our starting pitching last year, it was incredible, even after Wheeler went out. So, look, the reality is Realmuto is not going to hit. Everything that we get from Realmuto from a hitting standpoint is a plus. I mean, look at how many catchers
I guess that I would ask this question, Oscar. He got $45 million for 3 more years. Do you pay a guy $15 million a year just to be a defensive stalwart, or do you expect to have a little bit at the plate?
I mean, the question is how much you have to pay him to retain him. I mean, if Bichette would have come here, I don't think he would have been in this team.
Right.
And when Bichette makes a decision, you have to move to your next best option, and your next best option was to have Realmuto. I mean, with that starting pitching and catching. I mean, Realmuto is here because of his preparation and his catching skills and his ability to do it. And even his catching skills have deteriorated, not the preparation for the game and everything, but kind of the time. I mean, the framing is not probably there among the top catchers in baseball, but he's a great leader on this team, and he's a plus. Having Realmuto as the catcher of this team is better than having somebody else that, an up-and-coming guy that might not be able to handle the staff the same way, because this team is going to win or lose games based on their starting pitching. I mean, and we have a much better improved bullpen than we had last year, but our starting pitching is the one that is going to take this team to win the National League East.
And you got to look at the catching depth on this team too, right? Behind JT Realmuto, say you don't bring it back. I know they would have probably brought in like a Victor Caratini or something, but look at the catching depth. Rafael Marchand, Garrett Stubbs. Oh, by the way, he's back. He'll be in Lehigh. Rene Pinto, who they signed to a minor league deal this offseason, was the number 1 catcher in Lehigh. He probably goes down number 2. Paul McIntosh. Like, Caden Henninger is your only prospect right now, and he's 21 and in Reading. Like, that's the risk you take when you trade an Eduardo Tait for Johan Duran. That's why it was so hard to part ways with him. And everybody likes to talk about Mick Abel was in that deal, but I was worried because they just don't have the catching depth, and they still don't. You kind of had to bring JT Realmuto back after you lost on Bichette.
I would have liked to see them getting the deal involved in the deal for Kyle Teal. I thought Washington pulled off. The White Sox getting him. I thought he was a really good young catcher that could have reinfused. And I didn't think they gave up all that much to get Teal. But you're right. I mean, Caratini. Look, they could have let Realmuto walk, but the question would be, the problem was that wasn't changing the dynamics of the lineup, really. You know what I mean? Like, they were in a corner where Harper and Turner, they're not going anywhere. You couldn't let Schwarber go. You have minimal trade value for Stott, Bohm, and Marsh. So those 6 pieces are kind of stuck here. Yeah. The Realmuto thing was, is he going to add to the lineup or is he going to keep it the same? Well, he's going to keep it the same. Was a new guy going to add to the lineup? Not really. So they were in a tough spot, so they figured Realmuto's familiarity with the pitching staff was more valuable than bringing in a guy who might give you a little bit more offense. So I see where they were in a tough spot.
Yeah. Look, I think the other guy that we need to talk about catching is Henry Ford, the guy from that went to the Washington Nationals for the lefty Ferrer. Yep. That would have been another very, very interesting prospect. But,
I agree.
Look, the reality is we have what we have. I mean, by the way, they're booing Bichette. When you were talking, they're booing Bichette out of Met stadiums.
Think about this, Oscar. I'm glad you brought this up. Can you imagine if they would have hit this weekend and Bo Bichette went 1 for 15 with them?
Oh my! I can tell you, man. It's gonna take time. But look, guys, it's the beginning of the season. I think. Look, the other thing that I feel encourages our pitching. I do believe. I know Luzardo was off on his location with a couple pitches yesterday. I did not like the hanging sweeper on Nemo or the fastball. By the way, I mean this guy. I mean it's amazing. Andrew hitting a home run at a 98 mile an hour. I mean fastball. I mean it's amazing what this guy did. I mean. He was, a great Pittsburgh Pirate. I mean, we enjoy him when he was here. But, turning at 40 years old on that 98 mile an hour fastball, it was not the right location. And, Luzardo said it after the game. But, look, I'm encouraged. I think Nola's going to be much better. I think Nola's going to be much better than last year. He allowed 3 runs in 5 innings. I like what I've seen there.
Yeah, and you know what? This rotation is going to get a boost in probably 3 weeks when Zach Wheeler comes back. He's going to be pitching 4 innings in Durham on Friday. He's traveling with Lehigh to Durham, going to get 55 pitches. Then he's probably going to Reading. That's at least what I'm hearing. Next week, I'm sure it'll be about 5 innings, and I think they'll go from there. But, yeah, he's going to be coming in here. Taijuan Walker's going tonight. Andrew Painter's going tomorrow. I think the starting pitcher is going to be fine. I'm like you, Oscar. We were talking before the show, Aaron Nola. We thought he was fine, right? Gave it the home runs.
He had 14 whiffs. Christopher Sanchez had 13. He had 14 whiffs in 5 innings. He struck out 7. Look, I think Nola is going to be we're going to see a much better version of Nola than we saw last year. I was there at the game between Venezuela and Italy. He fought. That was hard. He's going to be fine. I think Nola's going to be a much better version than we saw last year.
I agree with that. By the way, I agree with the Nola stuff. By the way, I meant Ford. I said Teal. I was thinking of the Teal in the WBC.
That's what I thought you were talking about. Yeah. I didn't want to say it,
but because I thought Teal. It was Ford who got traded to Washington. That was a deal that I would have been interested in, a younger catcher, and I didn't think they gave up as much as I thought you were going to have to get Ford. But I agree with you on Nola. I think you're going to get a very Nola-esque type of season. You'll get 3 really good starts. You'll probably get 1 really down. Then you'll get 3 average ones and a really good one, and then 2 down. So I'm bullish on what Nola brings you this year. But I'm also very bullish on Painter. I think Painter is a big key here. I know he's the 5th starter in this rotation. But, hey, listen, I've seen a lot of young pitchers who have been recognized as top-level prospects come into this league and make an impact right away. I don't know that the Phillies need him to, but man, what would it add if they can get I'm not saying Paul Skeens or Nolan McLean, but he's been kind of mentioned with those guys. So I'm interested to see what level of Painter they end up getting on Tuesday. But I don't know what you guys think about Painter's impact this year.
Go ahead.
It's going to be a much hype start. I'll just say that. It's going to be a very hype start because of the hype the organization is built around this guy, right? Like, this guy probably should have been in the rotation 3 years ago if he doesn't have the Tommy John surgery. Yeah. He was all ready to go. He cruised through single A, cruised through double A Reading last year, needed to get the command back. He said he feels a lot better about his command right now. He thinks his fastball velocity is where he wants it to be. But I'm curious to see what the nerves are, in this first big league game. Like, Justin Crawford, I think that guy was cool as a cucumber. And he admitted to me he was nervous, but you wouldn't have noticed it based on how he came. He said he got nervous when his name got called out, coming out and the Flames and everything like that on opening day. I think it could get like that for Andrew Painter when they announce his name in the starting lineup and he goes out to that mound. But I think once he gets up there, because he's pitched in those big games, obviously in high school, I think he's going to be fine. It's just we got to be patient with him, just like this team.
I think it's going to be very similar to what we saw in the first spring training outing this year, where there was a lot of hype and a lot of expectations in that outing. I just want us to be very, very careful with both Crawford and Painter. Let's be patient with those guys. Let's support them. Let's be patient with those guys because, look, the reality is our future, to a certain extent, is holding on those guys. I mean, Sanchez, Luzardo, and Andrew Painter are the future starting rotation on this team for the next 10 years, or the next 7 or 8 years. I mean, we're going to have Wheeler and Nola. I mean, Wheeler for the next 3 years, or 2 years, or hopefully more. But look, Wheeler, I think a lot of this season will depend on our starting pitching, and both Andrew Painter and Wheeler are major, major questions. If those guys deliver, we're going to win 90-plus games.
All right, guys. Episode 1 tonight, by the way, Taijuan Walker will face Foster Griffin tomorrow. Andrew Painter looks like the Nationals are going to go with a opener for the game tomorrow against Andrew Painter. They have still not announced their starter. Mm-hmm. And then, Wednesday, Christopher Sanchez and Kei Cavalli is a awesome game, 105 at Citizens Bank Park. We'll have Phillies Fastball tomorrow, recapping tonight's action. Taijuan Walker, kind of the forgotten man, $18 million forgotten man. You pay me $18 million, you can all forget about me, all right? You don't have to worry about what I'm doing day to day. But Walker goes tonight against the Nationals, and obviously the Nationals, a team with not a lot of expectations. So if the Phillies scuffle in this series, I know it's early, but much like the boos raining down after that Bryce Harper at bat yesterday, things might get a little tense in that ballpark. 6 straight home games. They have 3 more, and that's tonight at Citizens Bank Park. Of course, Phillies Fastball tomorrow at noon right here on all the social media platforms. Make sure you hit the retweet. Make sure you hit the post. Make sure you hit the like and get the word out there. Every day at noon, Phillies Fastball. Oscar, Jeff, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
See you. God bless, guys. Take care.
See you later.